Hello everyone, welcome back. This is gonna be my second video in a week, which is incredible. I'm gonna be trying to keep to a schedule of about 3 videos a week. Sunday will be makeup, Wednesday will be art, and sometime around the weekend will be some kind of gaming, either Twitch or on here. Probably gonna be doing a lot of Switch games, Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem, basically whatever you guys want to see. I just beat Dragon Quest 12. If anybody wants me to play through that again, but in 2-day mode, and watch me go through the whole process, I would be down. I just would like to know if people would actually be interested. So anyway, back to the art. This is kind of a test for when I want to do makeup looks on my characters and then have to do them, or not have to do them, but do them on my own face. So really, this doesn't really turn out to anything that I'm gonna use for that, but it was definitely a good learning experience for what techniques I want to use. So I'm using watercolor. I believe it's a Winsor & Newton, and as you can see, it doesn't really take to the paper very well, and it's kind of just muddy. Not a big fan. So I do go back in with some gouache, and you'll see that's the thicker paint. I got a bunch of gouaches for my birthday a couple months ago, and I just haven't really used them, so I'm going to be trying to learn how to use them throughout these videos. There's the gouache right there. It's that creamy yellow color. I'm obsessed with that color. I think it looks good with just about everything, and it kind of just because gouache is so opaque, it just goes so smoothly and pretty. I apologize about the shine, but you know, lights, camera, action. So yeah, anyway, so this first part is just getting down all the base colors and trying to get a feel, kind of like how I was talking in my makeup video, trying to make everything feel cohesive. And definitely this main base of this cream color will be what I use for my cohesion. And so sorry about that. It's really just patience and really just keeping at it, because usually at this point I'm like, oh no, let's start another drawing, but I figured, hey, let's just keep going, see where this goes, and I think it turned out pretty cute and colorful. It's definitely not like, there's no story, it's just a bunch of colors on a pretty girl's face, but sometimes that's all you want in life, and trying to get back in art, I feel like that's the best way for me to do it, because that's why I started drawing. I wanted to draw pretty people in a style that I enjoyed, and that's kind of how it keeps going. So put in that brown just to have some more contrast, and I'm going in with the blush on the cheeks. It starts out pretty dark at first, but you'll see me go in and blend it some more, just trying to get that overall lay down before I get all detailed with it. And I'm having a little trouble with how much water is in the paint right now, and I am using an aqua brush, so that kind of adds to it. But I really do enjoy using the aqua brushes, just because I find constantly dipping my brush trying to find the right amount of water can be difficult, especially with getting enough when I'm just using regular brushes. And this one I can kind of work with it, and you'll see me a couple times throughout the video use a paper towel to kind of just pat everything down and get it to a nice base color. She looks pretty derpy right now, but you'll see me, I think, yeah, right here, use that paper towel, kind of bring her face back into shape, and just going back in with some brown, trying to define the hair, and just keep going through it. And it does, I feel like all of my art starts out ugly. That's just how it is for me. Like, I tend to like laying everything down and then fixing it later, going back in with pens, markers, or really whatever I find lying around. And that's what works for me. For you, it might be you want to be super precise, get everything the exact right color, kind of like you're trying to do like a still life or something where you're trying to match all the colors. But seeing as this is just like an illustration, for me, it's not going to be for anything, it's just going in my sketchbook and it's a test. I figured, well, let's just go crazy with it and do whatever I want. So again, just going in with some black and really defining what I want to be the focal point, which of course is the eyes, and generally that's what I like to focus on, and that really pulls the picture together. Just kind of slowly working in all of the colors that I use across the entire illustration. And a lot of it is just patience and trying to figure out what looks right, using reference, and just defining everything as you go. And here I'm going in with a watercolor pen. I got it at Barnes & Noble. I'm not exactly sure what the brand is. It might be Pentel, but I really like them. It's very useful for going over something like this, which is watercolor, gouache based, and it doesn't mess up the pen nib, which is important to me because they were, well, not super pricey, but I would like to keep it nice, because generally with my art supplies, I'm like, use it once and throw it out, just because I lose things and literally throw them under the bed or something, never to be found again. But yeah, you'll see me a lot going throughout this image, just trying to define everything, switching back and forth between the paint and the pens, because that's just how I work, and it's what works for me, and you don't have to do it. Some people really like to start off with the line art and then fill it in, kind of like a coloring book. For me, that's never really worked, just because I always end up deciding later that, oh, I don't want that line there, or I don't know, it's never worked. Like, I know I have like a line tutorial how to do it, but I actually never do it for like any of my art, unless I'm doing it as a request for someone, just because it's just not my style. Here I'm going with some very thick gouache just to fill in the background, and I find a very good tip for making your art look neat, especially for me, is if you have the outlines very crisp, no matter what's in the inside, it'll still look like it's framed by something. And that's what I try to do when I do my just kind of graphic abstract outlines, just try to get everything very crisp, and it's a slow process, but at the end it really comes together, and I feel like it works well. It'll take a lot of paint, but you know, just keep working with it, and with gouache you can always go over it, which is super nice. It's hard to work with, but in the end I feel like it's worth it, just because of how much opportunity you have, and it's kind of like painting digitally, because you can, I don't know, you can just open up a new layer once it dries and just paint right over it. Going in with that line art pen again, and just getting in there, using a red color for the lips, just because I don't want them to be quite as bright. I think that looks really pretty, actually. I do use, what are they called? They're like koi watercolors, and they actually have some metallic sparkle in them, which I didn't know when I bought it, and I was really pissed when I tried it. I was like, oh man, like this is terrible, like I would never use this, but I find I actually really enjoy it, and I'm glad I did, because I already had plain watercolors. Why not get something spicy? And I think it makes the lips look really cute, kind of like how I'd want my face, sparkly and beautiful. But yeah, keep going in with like with that cream color, and adding some brown and some red into there, and maybe even a little bit of blue. Flipping around the canvas, the sketchbook, so that I can do some details a little bit better and just see everything, because it was kind of hard to maneuver my hand across my tenacious camera setup, but it ends up working out well. And I find that flipping your canvas, moving it around, just starting to see it from different angles, putting it against the mirror to see what it looks like backwards, because once you are drawing something, you get used to how it looks, and I feel like putting it in a different perspective will really make you think about the proportions more, see what's going right, what's going wrong, and how to fix it. So again, just going in with this red and trying to crisp out everything. I felt like I needed some more color since she was so yellow, so kind of going for like a primary type deal, blending in some more of that cream yellow into the background, so have some more cohesion and just have some more contrast. And I think it ends up working pretty well, especially for just like a little sketchbook doodle. I really want to fill up a whole sketchbook with finished art. I tend to do like the first drawing in a sketchbook, like really detailed and very pretty, so when you open it's like, oh wow, this is amazing, but then everything else is just like butts, straight butts. So I'm just like, oh man, I need to really focus, and if it's not going to turn out to be a drawing that I want to be in my sketchbook, start over, erase it, and make it work. Especially like if I'm using like this kind of sketchbook for mixed media, I probably want to use like just straight watercolors in this again, because it looks trash, but the gouache works quite well. And zooming in on the face, I went in with some marker off camera just because I needed to hold on my lap and really get those details in. Put some yellow and just kind of made it more cohesive. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave me a like, subscribe. That would really help me in my journey. So yeah, everybody have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Woo!